We are live. That's better. YouTube. Okay, this is the first time um, I I've had the worst week of my life in technology, and I've had I had to take my MacBook Pro out of the whole thing and get these things. This it's been a horrible weekend. So one of the challenges I wanted to check on was lighting. I'm actually using a camera, an external camera that I haven't used for years because it wasn't working the old way. So we'll have to take a look at that. Okay, Facebook, here I come. Okay, Facebook, here I come. I thought I was. I got some codes. Okay, whatever. We'll wing it. We're live. It's starting. It's starting. Are we going to be live? Technology is. Oh, Lord. Maybe I should try again. I'm going to shut this down and start over again. There we go. I, I think we're live. We are. We are live. Welcome. It's David, and thank you for visiting today everywhere at visiting the Celebrate Business Project 2024, where every Saturday is Small Business Saturday. You didn't hear me say, but YouTube heard me say that it has been a horrible, it's been the worst technology week that I have ever had this week. Uh, my MacBook Pro, I couldn't get it. I couldn't get in the front door, and I couldn't get into the computer to get into whatever I was doing. And so I took it to the Apple store, and two geeks from the Genius Bar, they couldn't get into the front door either. Now, if they can't do it, there is something seriously wrong with the machine. So I said, okay, what are my options? Very nice. She was very, very nice. We had a lot of fun with it, I guess. Uh, uh, my options, she said, I can take this machine, this laptop, this MacBook Pro, I can take it into the back room, and in 45 minutes, we could explode. We could explode the computer and put it back together again. I said, well, that sounds like a pretty good, and it won't cost you anything. It won't cost you anything. I said, that's a pretty good solution. But I think I might hear a butt clause coming, which I did. But if we take that approach, you are going to lose all the data that you had on your hard drive. I said, that's something I'm going to have to think about because I have 3 years of data on that hard drive. I don't know. I can't make that decision right now. Oh Lord. So yesterday I was having a discussion with my son Sam, and he likes to create solutions for dad's problems. So I said, I've got one for you. I said, I can't get into my I can't get into my machine. Da, 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 da. And he said, well, do you have, are you on the iCloud? Do you have an iCloud? And I said, I honestly don't know. How will I know if I have an iCloud? Uh, I've never thought about it, or never was prompted. So I don't know. Maybe I do. So he said, wow, here's my recommendation. Take your iPhone, an iPhone that he actually gave me, and take it back to the geeks at the Genius Bar, and tell them to, well, you had a problem that we discussed with your iPhone, tell them about that, but also tell them to check to see if your data's on an iCloud in the phone. That sounds like a brilliant solution. So I'm going to do that probably Monday, depending upon a the most important business video chat I've probably ever had in my life. Uh, it the whole it was for the project. I had uh, did I take it? Can't remember if I took it or I got connected with um, some local folks in a company and submitted to them a conceptual proposal for National Small Business Week, which is the entire month of May. National Small Business Month, which is the entire month of May. I have never celebrated National Small Business Month, but I have celebrated National Small Business Week every week I can remember. So I want to do something special with that the entire month, and I've been trying to put it together. Anyways, I sent a conceptual proposal to a company. I faxed it to a decision maker. The way it's structured, it has to be viewed and reviewed by a yes or no decision maker. Just the nature of the proposal. So I submitted it to the one I was looking for in that company, and um, I didn't hear anything from them until yesterday at 4:30 my time, when I wasn't near a telephone, but they had called back, and Lisa, a very nice lady, Lisa, left a voicemail for me saying that, well, you're essentially, she was saying the conceptual proposal is in my hands right now. I said, okay. So I'm either going to, I left a voicemail hour ago. I left her a voicemail an hour ago, and I said, I'm going to be doing my every Saturday, is Small Business Saturday live stream from 10. And by the time I get through with everything and publishing and do all the things that I do, it'll be closer to 12, which she at least is in a central time zone. So an hour behind. Anyways, I'm waiting to hear when we're going to get together. Suggested very much a video chat of some sort. They might be on their own servers. this company. So I said, if that's the case, you can initiate the video chat and invite me to come into it. You might have your own cloud, whatever. Just let me know how you want to proceed. So that's exciting. Do I look excited? It's a great. I it was a very detailed retail marketing proposal, of which I've written a lot in my life. I've written 52 years of it. Uh, Retailers, whatever kind of retailer they are, they have a different mindset than uh, other types of businesses. And if they are in the food retail, they really have a different mindset than others because we eat food every day and they are competing for your business every single day. So uh, I've done a lot of things in that industry, and I'm actually sharing right now with these folks a direct postcard, direct mail postcard. Uh, didn't look like that. Same size. Uh, I in 1985, 84 and 85, I designed a system for a convenience store company that had 750 stores in about 6 or 7 states. And we mailed millions of these cards for these folks because I created a system that really worked. And I'm going to share that system with these new folks to see if it still works 15, 40 years later, almost 40 years later. And the answer is, I'm sure it still works. We will find out. So that's technology struggles. Oh my goodness. And that's now YouTube. YouTube, that's now Facebook. For now, we'll have to see how it looks after I've done one. Then we'll see if I need to bring my Mac back into the equation and make that decision based upon how much it will cost to bring my Mac back into the equation. We'll analyze that. Oh my goodness, it never stops. And you know what? On top of all the craziness, artificial intelligence is making, I don't know what they're doing. They're actually, they are creating more and more opportunities for the individual consumer, you and I, to trust with whom we're buying from, because new images, new things are being created every moment of every day to try to capture your dollars. So be careful. Trust the source that you are getting information from. And let me say, artificial intelligence in certain applications, I haven't used it. Well, I kind of use it. Well, LinkedIn, every time I do a posting in LinkedIn, they're asking me if I want them to rewrite what I just wrote in their AI, LinkedIn's AI, and I haven't. I haven't actually. I tested it. I didn't make it public, but I tried to test it to see what it would look like on my own, and yeah, they didn't make any changes. Thank God to what I had already written. So I guess I don't know what. It just mind boggles me the stuff that I read, and then I watch people argue on read people argue on LinkedIn, my AI is better than your AI. Oh my Lord. Oh, thank goodness. Also, too, I always say things happen in life, uh, uh, events happen in life with a purpose. And it's important to step back and try to understand what that purpose is, particularly if it's a good purpose. And this happened to me this week. I was getting ready to create another direct mail letter that I want to send to the right folks with the right offer at the right time. That's all part of what, and all three things have to be in line for a sale to be made. All three of those things. I am in my final draft on the actual letter itself. The design is complete. Um, I did it's a great design concept, if I say so myself. And yesterday, the business newspaper in my market in Cincinnati, it's called the Business Courier. They actually are part of a company, and I think they have newspapers in almost every market in the United States. They do something great for me. I'm sure other people use it too, but excuse me, where's my coffee cup? Where'd it go? Two lists that I got yesterday. SBA, SBA, the largest SBA lenders in this market. Those are folks with whom I want to speak because I want to co-produce with them marketing and sales value experience videos, I call them, where individuals, customers of them will have these, and we'll publish them the way that I'll show them to publish the way that I publish the stuff that I've been doing, and it's a very, very good tool. So I'm going to be sending letters to the lenders to talk about their customers. And also right across was the next page was the 25 largest SBA loans, actual loans in this market. So all 25 of those folks are natural folks to, when I have our project produce marketing sales videos for them. That was the fax to Lisa's company. It worked. That's going to be a good one. I guess we've been talking for 17 minutes already. I'm totally off script. Number one, because I can't find the script. Number two, I kind of know what was on there. So let's take it up from memory. I wanted to share all the things that I wanted to talk about are stories why I celebrate business. I've had wonderful, wonderful experiences for the last 50 years with the projects that I collaborate with folks, and it's lots of great stories. Well, it was in the early '90s, and a company actually called me up. I think the reason they called me up probably was my background in insurance marketing, and so I went over to visit with them. And it's a caskets company. It was the largest manufacturer of caskets, funeral home caskets in the United States. The reason they called me in was they decided, the folks that manufactured caskets, they wanted to get into the insurance selling business for you to be able to buy their caskets. Smart, very, very smart thing to do. Very, very smart thing to do. But the problem was, and they wanted to know if I had a solution for the problem. The problem was they they sold caskets to probably, I'm sure every funeral home in the United States had at least one of their caskets in their funeral homes. But not all of the funeral home directors got involved in bought the insurance, got involved in the insurance program, and they wanted to separate from the universe of companies that bought caskets, uh, ones that they could talk to about insurance. And um, without offending the ones who were buying caskets from them. And I said, I really, I don't know. It's the only time in my life I said, I don't know the answer to a marketing and sales challenge. And the funny thing about it is now that with the internet, it's a no-brainer. And you can separate markets with the internet that we couldn't do back in the days when we had. I think we had a lot more fun with marketing back in those days. There was another situation where I had a lot of fun with, and this is well, it was GE Appliance. Uh, from GE Electric, they had an appliance division located in Louisville, Kentucky, and I was in Cincinnati, and for sure it was what back then it wasn't about insurance, but it was about customer care, folks calling into a call center with a concern, whatever it might be. How do you create how do you talk to the folks? That was my expertise back then. I created a lot of, well, I did it for insurance companies. Basically, I didn't go at all outside of the insurance industry. So they called me in, but they do sell insurance. GE does sell insurance, but this was their appliance division. Uh, uh, I go into a room and there's me and 10 other people and the vice presidents and me. They were setting up an attack on me. So I go into the room and they explained to me the project, what the intent was, what the objectives were. And they said, well, what is your solution to it? I said, I don't want to get involved with the project with that solution because I don't think it'll work. And this senior vice president of whatever said, do you mean that you would tell the senior vice president of our company, one of the largest in the world, that you would not do the project? I said, yes, because I don't think it'll work, and I will not be involved in a solution that I'm not in agreement with. I just can't do it. And he said, well, I'm going to tell every vice president not in this room to never do business with your company. I said, if if that's what actually it wasn't my company per se. It was a big public company that I was representing, doing these development for in this for the company. And so I said whatever. So I went back to the individual in the company who I directly had to report outcomes of meetings, and he surprisingly totally supported me on my decision, and that was the end of that story. I got a story about a vice president of a company, I think, that got fired, or threatened to be fired. And this goes back to 1991 or 1992. Not an insurance company, a company by the name of Fidelity Investments. And I had originally established relationships with them through an agency, a New York agency that I was doing work with. And so I went to Boston for a meeting. And we set up a program. Well, we did two things for Fidelity that they had never done before. Being who they are, and because their business is operated on the telephone, they have the finest telecommunications technology available. That's because that's their business model. And so I wasn't I was bringing technology equal to, but not better than what Fidelity had. They had all the money anyways. And so uh, we created a program. We did two things. The first one was we made an outbound telephone call to their customers, and they had never before done an outbound telephone call to their customers, and they gave the assignment to me to put together. So the way that we did it, we created a voicemail. We did not want to talk to anybody live. We wanted to leave them a voicemail. We wanted to leave them a story that they could listen to and then respond to. That was the intent. So we called to the best of our abilities, and I needed data from them. We called uh, um, 8 to 5 folks at 8 to 5 when they weren't home. They were in their jobs, and then we reversed for businesses. We called businesses at night when they were home, and left voicemails. Wow, it, it we made. I think we made 750,000 of those. No, we made 300. We made 350,000 of those calls mixed up, and 75,000 folks decided they wanted to call and talk about it, and Fidelity wasn't equipped uh, for that onslaught because that vice president never told the call center folks that this massive calls might come in. And so I think, well, anyways, they tried to put the blame on us, on me, but they never told us to. They never gave us the overflow, or pointed the call to us. Obviously, they pointed the call to them, and it was a mess that they tried to blame on me. And what was I going to do? Go ahead. But the fact that no, that was a different thing. Another program that I got the blame for was they decided to run a program, an infomercial in the middle of the night. Never talked to me about it, so I knew nothing about it. Um, but uh, somehow we got an overflow, and they got all these calls, but without them telling us that the calls were coming in, so we weren't properly staffed for it to take the calls. We answered an enormous amount of calls. I think we 750 calls. So they didn't like that. Why didn't you take all the calls? Well, it would have been nice if you would have told us that you were running the campaign so we could be, and this was the middle of the night, and I think we did a pretty good job for the middle of the night. Well, they didn't buy that, and they did not talk to me uh, for an entire year. They would not talk to me. So those things happen in life, but that's why we celebrate, and that's why we have fun. Uh, one last story. One last story. Uh, it was for an insurance company, and actually, it was for an insurance company that is under 10 minutes drive from where I am sitting right now. And uh, it was back in the 90s sometime, I think about the mid 90s, when insurance companies were getting class action suits against them. It was a big thing. Attorneys were making millions of dollars back in those days. So there was a class action suit against Ohio National. Ohio National is the name of the insurance company up the road, and they called me in, and I walk into a room with 12 attorneys. I mean, it's the legal folks because it's a legal issue, and here were 12 attorneys asking me what could be done in the call center and how can we do the script and what can we say and legally can you say this and da da da. So it was a lot, I had a lot of fun with attorneys creating a solution for their class action suit. And why is every Saturday, Small Business Saturday, in my family? I am a third generation small business owner, and that's what I'm gonna end. I promise. I'm gonna end with a story that I just thought about today or yesterday. I posted it already. Uh, well, I posted it in Facebook, I think. Yes, had to be Facebook. In 1972, my father and I were the only father and son publishers of Jewish community periodicals. Uh, Virtually all Jewish communities had periodicals. Only a handful of them were independently owned. The rest were owned by the communities at large. The federations in those communities owned the publications. But in '72, my father and I were still independent. Uh, we were two of the maybe a half dozen independent publishers back then. And the story has even more significant meaning because uh, I said that my mother wanted me to go to college to become a rabbi. Uh, my father, I guess, but we never talked about it. He always wanted me to go to law school because the last conversation I had with him, literally the last, he said, well, he made it very clear he would like me to go to law school, but I said, it just, the timing isn't right. Believe me, I've thought about it, and the timing was not right. So he went in the house, and uh, the next day, I get a phone call from a publisher, an independent Jewish publisher in Charlotte, North Carolina, who's having trouble. I mean, he's a very wealthy man, but he can't find someone to publish it, publish the magazine, so he can do whatever he wants to do. He had a lot of money, he could do whatever he wanted to do. So I get this phone call. I talk to him, and literally the phone call lasted for less than 15 minutes. And he said, "I want you down here in Charlotte tomorrow, and you'll talk with Ruth, and we'll get the arrangements, but that's what's going to happen." I said, I guess I'm supposed to say. My dad said, my dad shaking and said, "Yeah." So I went down, and I actually came home with publishing a magazine in Charlotte, North Carolina with Mr. Blumenthal. And then I packed up and left. And so here, my father and I were in two different markets, 6 hour, 7 hour drive, uh, uh, almost due south, almost north to south, due south. And 14 months later, after all of that, my father passed away. He watched me go out of the driveway, but my mother watched me drive into the driveway coming home. And so I made the decision to drop what I was doing, come back home and do what I had to do at home, and haven't looked back since. That's how I started in publishing. So that was a great thing. So I think the moral to the takeaway from that story is, I think it really was the dream of my father for me to be a publisher, and I'm grateful that I was able to do that for my father. So that's that's what we're about on Saturdays. But I am now in my studio in Cincinnati, and I'm getting that, so I'm going to try something different. I'm now in my studio in Cincinnati, but I can be in any zip code, any market, to do it with the collaborative partnership, co-producing and publishing. What it is, it's a 6-day program in each of those markets. We do something for the first 5 days with their customers or folks with whom they want to be customers. There's an application for it there. And then we create 50 videos, 50 live stream videos in those markets. And then I will show them where to publish them to help to take those folks to the next level of their marketing and sales strategy. That will happen. It happened for me, and I'll show them how to make it happen for them. And we'll do it together. We'll collaborate. We'll do it together. That's what it's all about. Then on the sixth day, I will be wherever my co collaborative partner wants me to be, most likely in their branches. If it's a if it's a bank, the banks I'm going to call, but probably in their branches, or if it's a retailer, obviously in their retail establishment. But that's what it's all about, and that's what the project's all about. And I guess theoretically, I can do 52 of those a year, and I would love to do one in your market. So get in touch with me, email me, dleopold at davidsbarter.com, dleopold, my name, at davidsbarter.com. Message me in Facebook. Well, don't do that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's a mess. That that messenger thing. Facebook loves it. It's big business for Facebook. And if I could get rid of it, I would. It's causing a lot of headaches for me. But it's if I'm going to publish on their platform, I've got to play by their rules, or they'll write an algorithm that'll get me out of the game. They know how to do that. Believe me, they know how to bring traffic. They know how to create traffic. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your time with us and with the Celebrate Business Project 2024, where every Saturday is Small Business Saturday. And we'll see you again soon, which maybe the next time we see one another will be the very best time, and we'll see you then. Make it a great day and enjoy your day. Okay. We'll have to see how that YouTube is. I don't like that. I don't like that picture there. YouTube, thank you for your time. Uh, you heard me. How to get in touch with me if you want to have some discussion about whatever it might be. If you have a question about, I'm really good on questions with marketing and sales. Uh, Not really good on other kinds of questions. Technology, I know what I know, but I'm not a geek, but I know what I have to know to make things work for me. And if I don't know a challenge to your small business question, I absolutely can provide the resource for you to get an answer to your question and your challenge. So we'll see you soon. Have fun. Make it a great day and enjoy.